radiologists are in your practice, and how many people are on your IT team?
Well, right now I think we have 70 radiologists. You know, that number is always a little bit in flux, but I'm pretty sure, and it depends because I'm not sure if I should add the radiologists from the new hospital or not, but it's around 70. And there's myself is the IT department. Now, like I said, I do have a couple operations people that help out occasionally or do things, and we always have a point person at each hospital that can kind of, you know, troubleshoot small things. We have 3 hospitals connected to Intelerad. We have another 2 that we'll be bringing on before the end of the year. We have 2 main servers. We use one as a backup redundant server, and then we have a main server that's hosted in a hosted environment. And we have a primary reading facility, but then we also have 12 physicians that read either from our remote hospitals or their own reading room, like in their own home or something like that.
How many PACS systems and different RIS systems are you interfacing to through Intelerad?
Let's see. That's an interesting question. 1, 2, well, it would be 3 PACS systems and 2 RIS systems, really, because there's just 2 different types of RIS systems right now that we're interfacing with. But the 2 new hospitals will add a 3rd RIS system and a 4th PACS system.
Okay.
So, and all the interfaces with PACS have been very straightforward. We're limited sometimes by what their PACS system can do or their RIS system can do, but I never feel like we're limited by what Intelerad can do. I think that that your flexibility really is one of the key things that why I chose you and why I'm happy with my choice. Well, I think from the beginning, Intelerad helped us architecture our environment so that knowing where we wanted to go. Now that we're going there, we haven't really been inhibited in growing, because we kind of structured everything to be, you know, we structured everything so that it was capable of doing where we wanted to go. But adding new sites is not a problem. There's no downtime involved. There's a setup for each facility, and the best part is that I don't have to train any of the radiologists. Every time we add a site, it's not that like I have to go to each of them and say, hey, you know, we have a new site, here's how you log into this application, here's how you dictate, here's how you sign off on reports. It's all the same. Not yet. I mean, we plan on, if we grow more, as we grow more, we plan on adding, you know, more support personnel. I haven't felt the need to do that yet. I feel like Intelerad has very good support for me as the IT support for our company, but you know, eventually even I will want to take a vacation or a break and not answer the phone 24 hours a day. But you know, we don't. It's interesting because I thought we would have to add staff before now. We have some internal resources that I've utilized, some operations people that are, you know, involved more in the application than they were before, because we don't need them so much to do some of the things they were doing before, because the reports are just delivered, everything's working. Yeah, my project manager was excellent, and again, I feel like that just confirmed all my beliefs about your deep bench and how everyone is well trained. He was a very good project manager. He wasn't the most. He couldn't answer all my technical questions, but he knew who to go to. He had the resources to help, you know, us get things implemented well. He was available. If anything, that's one of the things that I love about Intelerad. Everyone's available. You know, they understand we're a 24-hour business and everyone's available. Not everyone all the time, obviously, but you have the right availability. You know, and when you work in healthcare, it's not a 9-to-5 job. And I feel like I get responses from people in a timely manner. There's no waiting around or me having to make multiple phone calls to get in touch with someone. So project implementation, A+. Well, what they've noticed is that they get the reports. I mean, they do an exam and they get the report, the final report. And that's not something they're used to. Most of these facilities, they waited hours or days, or like I said before, they had to like do, you know, everything twice, put it in their system, put it in the teleradiology system, and then they get the preliminary report, and then the physician had to read it the next day. I mean, I think what's been most impressive as far as our customers are concerned is the referring physicians, the emergency department physicians, and even the techs, it's just the timeliness of the final interpretation. Like I said, one of the things that I really like about my position at this company is that I feel like I get to help the radiologist really utilize technology to their advantage. And I never got that opportunity before because I was so distributed over so many different applications, so many different ways that we were doing things. Now that we have this, I'm more focused. Like I can methodically train them better. I can make sure their hanging protocols are working. If they have an issue, I'm not relying on other people to fix it. You know, we can address it. I can bring, you know, the product development, you know, concerns to the right people. I have more control over my environment than I did before, which is great. And it works. It's consistent. You know, that's another thing too. You can't, if we were doing this, you know, even before we implemented back this spring, I was nervous. I mean, I'm going to tell you, like, I wasn't sure which way this was going to go. I had done my best due diligence to try and choose a good vendor and to set things up based on my experience to be stable, but you still don't know. You know, IT is sometimes very complicated, and it's worked, and that's the best, you know, testimony to my state of mind right now is that I don't stay awake at night thinking, is everything working? You know, I know I'm going to get notified if something's not. I know we can address things quickly if there's issues, but we haven't had a lot of that. Most of the time, if there's a problem, it's more related to human error than it is the system. That's good, you know. But honestly, one of the things that I like best about Intelerad is not the actual back end of support, it's their front end preparation to prepare to support us. When we were done with our initial implementation, we went through the architecture again, and we looked at how things were running at that point and how full these servers had gotten. And we checked, there were a bunch of checks that they had in place with me on the phone talking about each individual server. That to me showed me that they weren't just putting fires out when they happened, they were actually looking at things and trying to prevent fires from happening. And that is something that I haven't found in another vendor. That was impressive. I think that's actually more important than trying to put a fire out. Often with a vendor, I'll get a call at 2 o'clock, and I used to get calls at 2 o'clock in the morning saying that PAX was down, and then we had to figure out why it happened. With Intelerad, I feel like they're trying to figure out what's going to break the chain before it breaks. You know, it's very good.
Right.
I mean, one of the things that I really like about Intelerad is that it's not that you get to talk to the person that can actually fix your issue. Everybody has resources in Intelerad. You know, often you work with a vendor that's too big or too small. If they're too big, you can't get to the person that can fix your problem. If they're too small, they might not have a person in their company that can fix your problem. I feel like Intelerad is right-sized. I feel like they have the right mix of people in support and in research and development and in their administrative team, and they also have the right amount of people so that I can get through triaging quickly. I get escalated to the correct person. That correct person is not afraid to talk to me directly about the problem. I don't always have to go through somebody else to talk to that other person.